Hey everyone, it is Dave. Welcome in. It is time for Module 4. This week we're going to be dealing with Italy in the 16th century. Now, this is also a time during the Renaissance that is the most famous. It is where you have Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Raphael. It's where the most famous works are being created, such as the Sistine Ceiling, the School of Athens, the Mona Lisa, the Statue of David. So we're very comfortable with this time period. So I'll be telling you about that. There is no project this week, but make sure if you haven't submitted it yet, please turn in that perspective drawing that was due last week. We do have a journal entry, as usual, and it does focus on the Last Supper. So make sure you've watched the lecture first and then complete that project. And I think that's everything I need to tell you right now. I'm just going to pop over to the Canvas site real quick. I'll walk you through this week's module. All right, here we are on the Canvas site. This week is module number 4. We're a little bit further than halfway through the first half of the semester. Remember, we're going to have a midterm in week 7, and that is also when all of these journal entries are due. So the first 6 journal entries are going to be due in module 7. I just want to make sure that is clear. And the module is set up just like all the others. The video that you're watching right now is here. We'll take a look at the module for introduction. And once again, we're covering really the pinnacle of the Italian Renaissance. It's the time period that we're the most comfortable with because we're familiar with the art and artists of the century. We're going to take a look at traditional Renaissance art versus Mannerism. We're going to learn about the history specifically of the Sistine Chapel. And then finally, take a look at those 3 specific artists, Leonardo, Da Vinci, and Raphael. We just have the journal entry this week to complete, but remember, if you haven't completed the perspective drawing, make sure that is turned in. You can still turn it late all the way until the 29th. We've got our lecture on Italy in the 16th century here, the study guide beneath, and then the further exploration section we'll take a look at. We do have a really cool video of the Sistine Chapel. It's not even a video, you're actually being taken to the chapel itself, and you can zoom in, zoom around the entire chapel. It's amazing how much of the surface is covered with paint. We do have a couple readings, Venetian color and Florentine design, Titian's pastoral concert. We also have a short poem by Michelangelo because he was able to do everything. And if you've never been to St. Peter's Cathedral, it is amazing, again, how much art is all over the place and how gigantic this structure is. Underneath that is a video on the baptism of Christ. This is the very first time Leonardo begins to put brush to canvas. And it's a painting mostly done by the artist Verrocchio, who was Leonardo's teacher. And then Leonardo completed these smaller angels here off to the left of the main image of Christ. The Alba Madonna, great painting as well, just a few-minute video there. We'll head back out, and we just have the only other thing is the journal entry. So if you've fallen behind a little bit on the journals, this is a great week to catch up. And this is focused on the Last Supper. So make sure you have watched the lecture first, and then you're going to download this PDF, and it's going to have 8 different choices or topics that focus on the Last Supper. So here's how the Last Supper looks now. This is what it would have originally looked like. So you can see almost a completely different painting. You can research line, color, light, composition, perspective, and so on. You've got about 8 topics. And then what I need you to do is answer the first 2 questions. The optional question, you do not need to answer. So choose any of the 8 topics and then just answer those first 2 questions. So it's kind of a fun project because you get more choice. And when you're completing the project, what I'm looking for your journal entry is just the answers to those 2 questions. And then again, there's going to be 2 sets of 2 questions. So please do not resubmit this entire form. Just submit your answers on a separate sheet of paper or in your Google Doc, whichever way you're creating your journals. And with that, it is a very short week. I will be back next week to talk to you about Module 5, which we're going to kind of expand our study outside of Italy. We're going to look at Renaissance art throughout Europe.